In a time when physical editions of games seems to be going the way of the dodo or the VHS, Nintendo was supposed to be the chosen one, the last hope for collectors, but instead they gave us keycards. Thankfully, all is not lost. Some games still are getting physical releases this year, and modern retro games at that. But even coming to Switch 2, Switch 1, both, well, you know what I mean. Here are 5 modern retro games getting physical in 2025. First up is Shadow Labyrinth from Bandai Namco, and believe it or not, it's a Pac-Man game, or at least it's set in the Pac-Man universe, which is, well, weird. At first glance, there's nothing Pac-Man-ish about it, but apparently it's a reimagining, and honestly, I believe them when they say we're going to experience Pac-Man like never before. From what I've seen, it's a Metroidvania where you play as Swordsman number 8, guided across a hostile alien world by a floating yellow orb named Puck, which, fun fact, was Pac-Man's original name, well, Puckman. You'll fight monsters, unlock new abilities, all the usual Metroidvania stuff, but with this kind of strange dark sci-fi twist that somehow still works. The whole setup makes a bit more sense if you've seen the episode of Amazon's Secret Level series that introduced these characters. The game is literally just being released, and between the trailers and the hands-on footage I've seen, I've got a decent sense of how it plays. It's fast, stylish, full of upgrades and frantic platforming, and it definitely looks like one to jump into if you're fans of like Ori, The Messenger, Celeste, Mega Man, and even Metroid, which I find it impossible not to think about when Puck goes full-on Pac-Man mode. There's loads of other retro surprises I've seen too, but I won't spoil them. Now the game is out now both digitally and physically, and it's just about £25 across both platforms, and yes, the Switch version comes on cartridge. No code and box nonsense, which we'll touch on later, unfortunately. There's also a special collector's edition, but I can't seem to find a way to get it over here in the UK, but you can find it on the US version of Amazon, and that comes with a pin set, poster, stickers and a keyring. Now a quick note on that Switch 1 version. Apparently you get a free upgrade pack for the Switch 2 version, which is pretty cool to be fair, especially as there's no physical Switch 2 release planned by the looks of it. Anyway, I'm excited about this one, although I'm not completely sold on the art style just yet. It just feels a little webcomic for me, but let's be honest, any game with a grapple hook is basically a cheat code for my interest. Next up, we've got a blast from the past, a brand new Ninja Gaiden game, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Now, I know some of you are already shouting at the screen, but Steve, there's been loads of Ninja Gaiden games. And yet you're right, but this is the first proper 2D entry in years that really feels like it harks back to the old NES era. It's a side-scrolling hack and slash game developed by the Game Kitchen and published by .mu, which already tells you it's in good hands. You play as Kenzie Mozu protecting his village from a full-on demon invasion, but don't worry, Kenzie's got air dashes, dodges, parries, the works. Now I played a demo for this and honestly I loved it. Once you get into the zone and the movements start to click, it feels amazing. It's tough, yeah, but in that kind of way that makes you want to try again, and the quick restarts make a huge difference. It gets into that classic Ninja Gaiden rhythm where it's part platformer, part puzzle, part speedrun, if that makes sense. So what's happening with the physical version? Well, the game's out digitally on July the 31st, but the physical release isn't landing until September 12th. That said, the box art is ace. It shows Kenzie and Kamori, who's kind of a second playable character. In a demo you swap between them occasionally, which keeps things fresh and adds extra gameplay mechanics. But yeah, it's not just a box and a card either. It looks like you get the soundtrack and a booklet as well. I'm guessing the soundtrack's a download code, but if it's an actual CD or something, that'd be a nice bonus. The standard version comes in at just under £35, which I think is reasonable, but there's also a special edition for $59.99. That one includes a cloth map, pins, a medallion, a standee and a poster, which I think is pretty cool. And yes, if you're wondering, 2025 is officially the year of the Ninja. There are 2 other Ninja Gaiden releases on the way this year, but the next game I'm covering isn't one of them. Next up, we've got Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Yes, not only are we getting a brand new retro style Ninja Gaiden this year, but we're also getting a brand new 2D Shinobi game too. Now, like Ninja Gaiden, Shinobi has had its fair share of entries over the years, but this is the first proper 2D one since the Mega Drive days, and no, we're not really counting that digitized Saturn version, right? This new one's an action platformer developed by Lizard Cube and published by Sega, and if the name Lizard Cube rings a bell, they're the ones behind that gorgeous Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap remake and Streets of Rage 4, so yeah, expectations are high. You're back playing as the original Shinobi himself, Joe Musashi. Short range, long range, a bit of magic, and yes, he's now got a grappling hook. Game of the year potential right there. It plays fast, much like Ragebound, but where this one really stands out is the look, the hand-drawn modern animation style. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, the digital version of this game releases on August the 29th, but we need to talk about the physical release. There is a standard box version for about £22, but I'm putting emphasis on the word boxed here because it's just a coding box. Now, some of you might be fine with that, but if you're like me and let's just say I'm not a fan, then your best bet is the limited run edition. They've got a standard cartridge version available for around £44 in the UK, which will get you the actual game on a cart. Always appreciated. But that's not all. They've also got a Genesis style collector's edition, you know, Mega Drive if you're in the UK, and a full-blown collector's edition with extras like pins, posters, and that amazing looking statue of Joe surfing. I want it, but my wallet doesn't. The standard limited run version is supposed to ship with a digital release date, while the special editions are aiming for next year. And honestly, I don't know if I can wait that long anyway. Next up, we've got Terminator 2D No Fate. This is the only movie licensed game on the list, and to be fair, you don't get that many good ones nowadays anyway, do you? Especially 30 odd years after the movie came out. But this one's different. It's a side-scrolling pixel art action game developed by Bitman Bureau and published by Reef Entertainment. And honestly, it looks kind of special, especially if you're a fan of the earlier Terminator games. I've got a soft spot for the original Sega Mega Drive game, and even though it was really short, I always wanted more. And this looks like it might finally scratch that itch. You play as Sarah Connor, the T-800, and future John Connor, reliving classic moments from the film. There's clear inspiration from games like Contra, Shinobi, and Metal Slug, and the John Connor sections in particular give me serious Alien 3 vibes, but it also looks to be inspired by that Sega game I mentioned earlier. Compared to other games on this list, this one's definitely the least athletic, if that's fair to say. More classic run and gun than fast-paced hack and slash. And I love that they're mixing it up with vehicle sections lifted straight from the movie. That variety really helps it stand out. Now, the digital version of this game launches September 5th, and the physical release is landing the same day, which is always nice to see. The day one edition comes in at about £42, and I thought that was a little bit steep at first, but then I saw what was included. You get a reversible sleeve, a cloth poster, a metal arcade token, a full colour manual, great, and a collector's box. To misquote Arnie, I'll be getting that one. There's also a full collector's edition at about £90, which comes with even more goodies. Visually, I think it looks fantastic, and I'm especially glad that they've taken inspiration from Brad Fiddel's original score. That music is such a big part of what makes those early Terminator movies feel really iconic. And lastly, we've got Absalom, a game that feels genuinely unique. It mixes side-scrolling beat-em-up action with roguelite elements. So think Streets of Rage meets Hades, set in a world of sword and sorcery. I don't know about you, but that ticks all of my boxes. It's developed in-house by .mu, and you play as one of 4 rebels on a mission to take down an evil king. Like most of the side-scrollers in this list, the combat's all about fast-paced combos, dodging, and special attacks. But what sets this apart is the roguelite structure. Every time you die, you start another run, but with upgrades that carry over. Add branching paths, character progression, and the option to play solo or in co-op, and you've got something with serious replay value. Now, I might sound like I'm gushing here, but I've played the demo, and it gave me strong Streets of Rage 4 vibes, mixed with Castle Crashers, and oddly enough, Golden Axe. And to be fair, I've been saying for years that Golden Axe needs a comeback with modern mechanics, and this honestly feels like the game I was hoping for, except better. So yeah, check out the demo if any of that sounds like your thing. The soundtrack alone had me hooked. Now for the important bit, the physical release. Absalom launches both digitally and physically on September 30th, priced just over £30. And yeah, it includes a soundtrack. And if you're into extras, there's a special edition for around £55. That comes in a nice collector's box and includes an art booklet, metal pins, character cards, and the digital soundtrack. And best of all, it releases on launch day. I'll drop links to all the games I've mentioned in this video in the description below, but do let me know if you're going to be picking any of these up, and do hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. See you in the next one.